February 4th, 2024, the nation of El Salvador re-elects their populist president, 42-year-old Nayib Bukele, in a stunning landslide. When all the votes were counted, Bukele won with nearly 85% of the vote. But the election was not just an epic win for Bukele. It was a historic day for a new El Salvador, which in Bukele's 4 years as president has transformed in ways that were once unimaginable. I'm Dr. Steve, your patron professor, and we're going to explore the astonishing transformation of El Salvador and glean the lessons that can be applied to transforming our own nation here at home. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's dive right in. The year is 1979. A bloody civil war ravages the nation of El Salvador, lasting over a decade. When the dust cleared in the early 90s, 20% of the nation had fled its borders, the vast majority arriving here in the United States. It was in this diaspora, particularly in Los Angeles, that the notorious Salvadoran gangs were born. Originally formed for protection, the gangs began to metastasize. Salvadoran youths cast adrift amidst the tumults of the cocaine boom and gang warfare, transformed from innocuous stoner cliques into the infamous savage street juggernauts known as MS-13. The steady stream of arrivals from El Salvador, fleeing the ravages of violence in their home nation, merely helped fuel the towering inferno of gang recruitment and bloodshed in California. The gangs eventually made their way back to El Salvador, and at the height of the gang activity, their numbers swelled to an astonishing 60,000, bigger than El Salvador's national police force. In fact, the gangs had gotten so large that past Salvadoran presidents actually had to start making deals with them, allowing the leaders of the gangs to be transferred to lower security prisons, which the gangs largely controlled, in exchange for them to stop warring against each other. Well, they did, but despite that placating, the gangs continued to terrorize the citizens of El Salvador. The murder rate in the nation skyrocketed during this period. By the year 2015, El Salvador had the highest murder rate in the entire world, averaging 1 murder per hour. Drug cartels and gangs literally controlled everything. The government became little more than a passive spectator. But that same year, 2015, a young outsider was narrowly elected as mayor of San Salvador, 37-year-old businessman Nayib Bukele. His tenure as mayor foreshadowed how he would eventually come to govern as president. He made the city cleaner and safer and successfully implemented a number of popular public works and initiatives. In 2019, Bukele ran for president of El Salvador as a populist outsider who campaigned on basically draining the swamp of Salvadoran politics. He found that voters were turning their backs on the two major parties, the center-left and center-right parties, and so Bukele sensed it was time for a total outsider running on a thoroughly populist right-wing platform, and he formed his own party, the New Ideas Party, and he won a decisive victory. Now, at the time, Charles Cole, the Brookings Institute, noted that Bukele's victory signaled nothing less than the continued rise of political populism throughout the world. In other words, the very forces that propelled referendums like Brexit and campaigns like Donald Trump's to victory were in fact operative in the political dynamics of Latin America as well. But no one at the time realized just how significant Bukele's presidency would end up being. Bukele began his presidency by boldly shouldering the burden of his beloved nation's woes, casting aside scapegoats and embracing accountability. El Salvador's problems are El Salvador's fault, he said, no one else's. And with unwavering resolve, he acknowledged El Salvador's tormented past, including the haunting specter of the seemingly hopeless and unending proliferation of ruthless gangs ravaging his homeland. And now it was time to galvanize their forces and turn it all around to victory. Hey gang, you've seen how much UFC fighters love President Trump and how much he loves them. They're both fighting for faith, family, and freedom. But did you know that our camaraderie goes way beyond just fighting against wokeness? We can actually get the same pain relief that the fighters in the UFC get, precisely because a fellow patriot and good friend of this channel is the one who provides relief to that pain, and he's here to do the same for you. Now, we all know that as we age, aches and pains are normal, but, you know, they don't have to be, and that's where the groundbreaking medical scientist Clint Winters comes in. Clint's a world-renowned health expert who's unveiled a natural pain reliever that's taking the world by storm. It's called CB2. It's the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief without dangerous meds, and it is the official pain reliever for the fighters in the UFC. So whatever you do, gang, make sure to click on that link below right now and check out Clint's amazingly informative report on how CB2 is changing lives by providing safe and powerful relief at a fraction of the cost of pain pills. Click on that link below right now. Nayib Bukele's truly fantastic rise to power has heralded a seismic shift in the nation's trajectory. Despite facing an onslaught of political opposition and persecution, Bukele continued to forge his own path, riding on the crest of an overwhelming tidal wave of public adulation. Upon assuming the mantle of leadership, he unleashed the ferocious beast known as the Territorial Control Plan, a multifaceted tactical strategy designed to vanquish the proliferation of gang violence once and for all. One of Bukele's first public projects was the building of what's called a super prison. It houses upwards of 40,000 prisoners. The prison has been showcased across the nation through video as a colossal deterrence against gang-related activity. And it's not just the prison. Remember the deal that previous administrations made at relaxing the sentences of gang members? Bukele is throwing the book at them. He's implemented a mandatory 40-year prison sentence for anyone involved in gang-related activity. Bukele's massive crackdown on violent crime has resulted in the arrest of over 64,000 violent criminals. He's arrested virtually every one of those 60,000 gang members, and it's changing El Salvador like never before. Remember those skyrocketing murder rates? Well, now with Bukele at the helm, all of that has come to an end. The homicide rate in El Salvador has plummeted. Before Bukele came to power, El Salvador averaged 108 murders per 100,000 inhabitants, the highest in the world. The murder rate today is now just 8 murders per 100,000. The murder rate has dropped by more than 90%. Not only has Bukele decimated gang-related activity, he at the same time has positively nurtured the Salvadoran youth, allowing them ample opportunity to prosper and grow free from the confines of the horrors of gangs. So what's the takeaway for us? Well, despite all of the success of Bukele's first term, voices of dissent still pierce the air. Bukele has suffered globalist accusations of authoritarianism and tyranny, particularly as Bukele squared off against what remained of El Salvador's liberal legislative branch. But here's the lesson. Bukele ignored them. He ignored the left-wing media, both in El Salvador and the United States. He ignored the left-wing institutions accusing him of authoritarianism. He ignored the entire elite political class begging for business as usual. Instead, his administration's unwavering commitment to the restoration of traditional El Salvador values, coupled with audacious measures to purge the scourge of corruption and crime, struck a resonant chord with the populace, forging an unbreakable bond of trust between leader and citizen. The result, 85% of Salvadorans, 85%, re-elected Bukele to the presidency. A beacon of hope amidst the tumult of Latin America, the Salvadoran miracle, while scorned by the liberal globalist elite, serves as a clarion call to nations gripped by the throes of similar trials. Nayib Bukele's unprecedented odyssey has not only rewritten the annals of Salvadoran history, but has also ignited a blazing torch of inspiration for the entire region, heralding the dawn of a new era of possibility and a promise of a secure future. Here's your opportunity to tell big tech tyrants where they can stick it. Click on that link below and download our brand new cancel-proof Turley Talks app, and you can sign our special Declaration of Restoration. That's our petition to big tech that declares a new day is dawned. They are no longer in control, and we are taking our nation back. We've already got over 1,000 signatures of courageous patriots, and yours is next. Click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com right now.